As a DoorDash driver, one of the golden rules we all learn from is our own mistakes. But does the customer ever learn from their mistakes, such as leaving their dog out while your DoorDash driver is there to deliver your order? Let's face it, the threat is real and you can get seriously hurt and injured. And we are going to talk about it right now. Let me ask you, have you ever been afraid to do a DoorDash delivery because a customer has left their dog out, or there's a barking dog that scares the living crap out of you, or hopefully this has never happened to you? You have been bitten or hurt by another animal. Now, before we even start, I'm going to say I love all animals, and dogs have a special place in my heart. But I have to say, I come into contact doing this full time with dogs daily. But just because I love dogs and I can possibly be a dog whisperer, I'm not, doesn't mean that all dogs absolutely love me or people. And that's the problem. Not all people and DoorDash drivers love dogs. Some are completely petrified of them. I know a couple people in my life that are highly afraid of dogs. But the unpredictability of animals should have every driver on high alert, especially coming into the spring and summer season, because you just never know. Today, we are going to go over why these types of deliveries can cause serious threat and harm to DoorDash drivers. What was my worst delivery with a dog incident? And towards the end, I'll tell you what to do if you find yourself in a very dangerous situation. So, have you ever come to a house and there have already been dogs outside without leashes, without fences, without being tied up? And you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I still deliver it? Should I deliver it? Is this a friendly dog? Not a friendly dog? I know I do that almost every single day because customers only see their animals as friendly pets, and they probably are, and most of them are absolutely harmless. But you can't really think about that as a delivery driver, a DoorDash driver, right? You have to think, what am I getting myself into? Because how many times have you seen in leave at door notes that I have a dog, he's friendly, he might be outside? Well, that's great. You think that your dog is absolutely friendly, but are they friendly to everybody? You never know how a dog is going to react to other strangers that they don't know of. Dogs are extremely protective of their owners, of their house. There are so many different personalities, just like humans are. Believe me, I've had dogs all my life. What I don't get with doing deliveries over these years, as a homeowner myself, I can't imagine taking the responsibility, or I should say lack of responsibility, of ensuring their dogs are secure, knowing you have a DoorDash delivery being delivered to your house. And to me, the customer is only thinking one-sided. My dog is fantastic. My dog is a family member. My dog is harmless. But you're not really thinking of how the delivery driver is feeling or what can possibly happen. Because if a delivery driver gets hurt on your property, that's a bigger issue from a customer standpoint. They can be in some serious trouble, especially when you see so many things happening lately. I guess maybe it's the time of year and dogs are more prone to be out during nice weather. I get it. But I've seen so many posts on Facebook, on Reddit, on all of these groups of drivers being hurt and dogs biting DoorDash drivers when you're just trying to do a delivery. And I think that's where the problem comes in, because you don't know how to predict what's going to happen to dogs that are just left outside. And that in itself, to me, is really scary because I've had a couple of scary encounters myself. So for me, I've had two very scary encounters that I was stuck in the middle of a delivery and I didn't know what to do. And because I didn't realize that dogs were out as I was literally approaching the customer's house, it literally came out of nowhere. The first one was a couple of years ago. I saw the dog, but he was in the backyard, so I didn't even think anything of it. And then I saw him approaching, and I thought that they had an electric fence. I'm not going to lie, because he was sticking to one area of their yard, and all of a sudden he came charging at me, started barking his head off. And I got to the porch where the customer, obviously, I was going to leave the order, and he was on the steps right behind me, like literally barking his head off. Like, and I tried calming him down and talking to him, and oh my God, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And the dog almost wasn't letting me leave the porch. If I left the porch, he was standing right in the middle of the stairs to go down. And I tried knocking on the door, and of course, no answer. Customer, for whatever reason, wasn't answering. Finally, like, I creeped past the dog and like got to my car, and then I was good. The dog started to walk away as soon as he saw me retreating, so maybe I wasn't a threat anymore. But for a second I was a little shaken up because I'm like, I could have seriously been hurt. The second encounter, kind of the same concept. I was delivering to a country house that had a really long driveway, and they actually had horses, and it was a farm, and didn't think any, I only saw the horses. I didn't see dogs. So I'm going up the stairs to put it on their porch. I turn around and there's two pit bulls staring at me. I'm like, oh, hey puppies, how are you? They were like huge horse dogs. And I'm like, you can eat me for lunch. And I'm like, I'm just gonna get by you. You can do whatever you want with this food I just left on the porch. Luckily, they were seemed friendly enough that they let me go, but I turned around, and when you're not expecting it and dogs surprise you on delivery, sometimes I think that's worse. At least if you see dogs, you can usually call the customer and say, hey, listen, your dog's outside, I need to do a delivery. That wasn't the case with mine. Another time was honestly just too darn adorable. It was like this little fluffy white dog, and I got out and I didn't even see the dog approach, but he was waiting for me to get out of the car. And I'm like, hey, buddy, how are ya? He followed me to the house, and then I walked back and he was still on my heel, and he wouldn't let me get in the car. Literally, he was blocking me from getting into the car. So I'm like, okay, I'll try going around to the passenger side. I'm small enough, I can climb over. And then he did the same thing on the passenger side, and like, he wouldn't let me get in the car. So I completed the delivery and I couldn't get the phone number back of the customer to call. So I go to their door and I'm knocking. No one's answering. I'm knocking. And I actually had to call support. Support had to call the customer to say, hey, listen, your dog won't let my delivery driver leave. And then finally, the customer came out and got his dog. Cutest dog ever. So no threat. I just couldn't leave. And I had another order waiting for me. So, oh, it could have been a lot worse, but the dog was super cute. So those were my, like, kind of bad. One was good, but annoying that I couldn't leave their property. But when do customers take responsibility for their dogs? I think that's my biggest issue with a lot of this. So, what do you do if you find yourself in a very dangerous situation, or you see dogs out while you're delivering? Okay, first of all, if you see the dogs and you do not feel comfortable delivering, call the customer, first of all. Tell them to come get their dog. If that is not the case, then you call support and tell them what is going on, and they'll tell you how to proceed from there. There was one time where the dog was patrolling a fence and I had to go through the fence to get up the stairs to go to the customer's house. Customer didn't answer support. I was on hold forever, so I ended up leaving the order at the like in the front of the gate, and I messaged the customer saying, "Your I can't enter the gate. Your dog is out. I apologize for it not being at your door." I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't get a bad rating. If I did, I would have called support and fought it, but that's just one way. Always loop in with support if you cannot complete your delivery or you find it a very big safety risk for you as a driver. I would rather you be safe than to risk being scared and scaring the dog and then having the dog attack you. It is no joke. You can seriously get hurt. You seriously can get injured while doing some of these deliveries, and just be careful and be cautious. If you are a dog lover, proceed with caution. That's usually what I do until I know that there is a true threat, and then I assess the situation from there. I've heard of delivery drivers, DoorDash drivers, having like a bag of milk bones in their car just in case. So if you feel like doing a little bit of an investment to make the dog love you and be friendly with you, that's just another out. But when in doubt, this is my rule of thumb. If you find yourself in harm's way or you assess it and you think that there is a real risk, don't do the delivery. Nothing is worth hurting yourself, harming yourself as a delivery driver, especially over a $5 or $6 order. Totally not worth it. A lot of the times, if you call the customer, they'll understand what's going on, and they understand because they're the ones who left their dog out. Kind of all goes back. Why do customers leave their dogs out if they know that a delivery driver, a DoorDash driver, is coming to your house? Still baffles my brain every single day. What do you do if you find yourself ready to deliver and there is a dog waiting for you at their front porch, their front yard? What has been your experience so far? Doing deliveries where there are dogs involved is just one of the many dangers that we find ourselves in as DoorDash drivers. Well, there is a definite reality of the dangers of being a DoorDash driver. You're going to want to check this one out next, and I'll see you over there.